Welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video, I am going to be talking about The Mandalorian, Episode 6 Review. Oh my god, so of course if you have not been keeping up with the show, if you don't have the Disney Plus or anything like that, please don't watch this video because spoilers for The Mandalorian up to, of course, Episode 6. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's video, shall we? With that out of the way. So, the fact is, you guys can't even tell, but I'm in my pajamas. I slept in this last night. I love the fact that it comes out, it's almost like a Saturday morning cartoon for me now, you know? I get to wake up, I get to eat my breakfast, and I get to watch The Mandalorian. I really kind of like that. I mean, yes, I could technically save the show for later on in the day, make it my big last thing before bed, but I'm really liking the fact that I'm able to just wake up on Friday mornings and watch a new episode of The Mandalorian, and I really like the fact that they're doing it episode by episode, week by week, and not just flooring the entire thing in front of your face. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love binge watching as much as the next guy. I mean, when it comes to Stranger Things and shows like that on Netflix, that's all they do. They just put it in your face, say, hey, here's all of it, have fun binge watching, and I've become accustomed to that. A lot of people have come accustomed to that, but I just got Netflix just the other day. I mean, I've had it before. I quit because none of my shows were showing at the time. I just got it back about maybe a week ago, and I got to binge watch all 3 of my shows, and now I'm thinking about canceling my subscription again because I've already watched all 3 of my shows. And it's just this feeling of, alright, I love binge watching it, I love the fact that I got to see it, but what about next week? What about the week after? I just finished my shows. What am I going to do? What's going to be my special thing for next week? Now, obviously, I could go ahead and say, oh, well, I watched this episode this week and this episode next week. I don't have to binge watch it all together. But the problem is, if I go anywhere near YouTube or Google or the internet, I'm going to be spoiled. In fact, I was actually spoiled for a couple of my shows that because I quit Netflix for a while, I got spoiled and I had to watch them and make sure I binge watch them just so I don't get any more spoiled. And I actually don't like that. I really like the idea that you can't get spoiled now. I mean, technically you can if you go to the internet before you get to watch this show, but now that you're able to do it in the morning, now that you're able to do it week by week, you're not going to get spoiled very easily because no one knows what the next episode is. I actually really like this whole week by week, one episode by one episode format that they're going with on Disney Plus, mostly because that's kind of how I grew up with when it comes to watching my shows. The Clone Wars was my favorite Saturday. I think it came out either on Friday or Saturday. And it was my favorite thing to watch in the morning before school. And that's all of my shows. All of my shows, the way I grew up, was one episode at a time. And so far, I'm really liking the format when it comes to The Mandalorian only being one episode. Because it gives me a chance to look forward to something, kind of sit on something, sit on a plan or an idea for about a month, for about a week or so, really get into my head what's going on, and then watch the next episode knowing what I've known before. Unlike with when you binge watch a show, you may hear something 5-10 times, but unless they completely give you time to sit on it and realize what's going on, then a lot of times there might be certain parts of the story that you miss, and by the end of the show you're like, okay, what happened? You know, I've done that with Stranger Things twice. I've had to go back and binge watch the show like maybe 3 or 4 times before I got the whole story because they aren't giving me a week ahead of time to sit on it, really think about what this means, and just look forward to the show. You know, that's just my own problem. I really kind of want Netflix to start doing what Disney is doing with the one episode week thing. I think it would be great. Now, I'm spending too much time on this. Let's go ahead and talk about what this actual video is supposed to be about. Episode 6 of The Mandalorian. So, is it just me? Or did this episode feel a little bit long? Or at least longer? Reason why is, turns out it's like 42 minutes long. So we got kind of a fun, longer episode, and I don't know. I really want to know. Let me know. Do you guys think that this was just a little bit too long? Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to see 2-3 hours of The Mandalorian. 2-3 hour episodes of The Mandalorian. You know, the more Mandalorian I can get, the more I'm going to be happy. I love The Mandalorian. I love the show. But it's because of the fact that I want more. Means that just shows how good of a show it is. That just means it's a great show. But here's the thing. Just because I want more doesn't mean I should have more. Eventually, and some shows do this. They do 2-3 hour long episodes. You know, they do 1 hour, 2 hour long episodes, and it's like, okay, this is too long. This is just too long. And I know that this was only 42 minutes, but it was just too long to me. I feel like now that I've seen the 42-minute format, I feel like I'm liking the 30-35-minute format, because while it is short, it's short enough for you to get the whole picture before you can even finish your breakfast. And it just gives you just kind of a cliffhanger to really get you going for the next episode. And you're like, oh my god, that is so short. I want to know what this cliffhanger means. Please give me more. And that's when you're like, okay, I can see the next episode now. But after watching this one, having it being 42 minutes, this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like a little tired after watching that long of an episode. I'm like, okay, I can maybe wait a week for the next episode. Whereas with the 32-minute format, I'm like, I can't wait. Give it to me now. Give it to me now. Dang it, I have to wait for more, you know? This one, I'm not like that. So, just kind of a weird thought. Did you guys think that this longer episode was maybe too long? Now, don't get me wrong. I loved everything that happened with this episode. So, let's go ahead and talk about that. So, what happens is apparently the Mandalorian used to have a couple of old buddies. And they call him up for a job. The job is they want to break out one of their old friends. They didn't tell who it was to the Mandalorian yet. We find out later on in the episode. So he goes there. He meets the team. They got a weird droid. I don't even remember what it was. I think its name is, Zero or something like that. You know how the Mandalorian doesn't like droids. And of course there is this big guy with horns. I know what type of alien he is. I just can't remember it. There is also this purple Twilight that apparently used to have a crush on the Mandalorian and kind of still does. You know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of... I'm not a big Batman fan, but I have seen a little bit about it, and Harley Quinn. She reminds me of the Harley Quinn, and it's not just the tentacles, okay? Just the way she acts. She acts like a Harley Quinn. I just found that kind of interesting, kind of funny. I feel like that is a perfect comparison for you guys to get the idea of who this character is. She's pretty much the Harley Quinn of Star Wars. Yeah, and there's this other guy. I didn't learn any of these guys' names, and I really wish I did, but There's this one guy with a couple of blasters, and he has a backpack with a third mechanical hand with a gun. So when he's hiding behind something, the mechanical hand can go out here and get blasted instead of his body. I like that. That was just something interesting. Now, I've seen that kind of backpack in video games for Star Wars before, but I like the fact that they're using it in the show. I thought it was interesting to see his skills with the blasters. And when I say blasters, I mean 3 of them. Now, what's really cool is the only reason why they have the Mandalorian in the first place, the reason why they call him up, is because of the ship. So we get to learn more about the ship. It turns out that this ship is not on Imperial radar or New Republican radar. So this ship is pretty much a ghost, which means by using this ship, they have a better chance at hopefully getting the job done without anyone knowing that they are there. What is the job? They're going to go break out the Twilight Girl, the Harley Quinn Twilight Girl's brother, which I guess kind of makes him the Joker of Star Wars. He's not really the Joker of Star Wars, but I don't know. That was just kind of funny. So they're going to go break him out, and what was interesting to learn is that the Mandalorian is the reason why he actually got captured. He apparently left him for dead, and now he's caught in a I keep wanting to say Imperial, but it's or Resistance, but it's New Republic's a holding ship, like a villain transport ship, basically. And they go in there. They try to find the guy. Of course, a couple of droids are there, and it's fun to see the Mandalorian take him all out with pretty much no help because the other guys don't like him. They eventually turn on him, locking him in a cell. Of course, do you think the Mandalorian is going to take that hands down? No, he, of course, nabs a droid, breaks out of it, and goes after the team. He knocks them all out, and of course, he goes after the guy that they're going for. And he kind of swivels his way out of being killed by the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian says because he's a man of honor, he wants to get his money, he wants to get the job done, so he has to take him back home. Of course, there's this whole thing with the droid Zero and the baby Yoda, and the droid Zero almost kills baby. It's actually kind of a fun ride, but I felt like it was very unnecessary, which surprises me because you know how much I love baby Yoda. That thing is adorable. But I felt like it was really unnecessary. I felt like there could have been maybe about 3 minutes cut off of this, you know, if he just didn't do the baby Yoda stuff, which we have it, so I'm not gonna say no to it. We have it. I love it, but it just, again, makes the episode feel longer than I think it needed to be. But anyway, there was also this one guy who was apparently on the ship. He was like the driver, the captain, and he had a tractor, a stress beacon, tractor beacon for I keep wanting to say the Resistance, but the New Republic, and unfortunately he gets knocked out, but what the Mandalorian does is he takes that tractor beam, and when he when he frees that one guy, the Twilight male, the brother to the Harley Quinn Twilight, he accidentally, by accident, I mean totally on purpose, puts the tractor beacon on him. So at the end of the episode, who comes up is, of course, the New Republic. And who is flying the New Republic X-Wing? So I feel bad because I don't know who the other 2 people are. I think they were maybe co-directors as well. But my boy Dave Filoni. Oh my god, when Dave Filoni showed up as an X-Wing pilot, I lost my mind. That was so darn cool to see Dave. I mean, first we have Jon Favreau as a Mandalorian, and now we got Dave Filoni as an X-Wing pilot. That was just so darn cool. I loved seeing that. It definitely grew a big smile on my face. Surprised the heck out of me. Wasn't expecting it. That was a really cool cameo. But moving on from that, this episode, at the end we find out that he didn't kill those people. He just locked them up in the cell on that ship. So I kind of feel like that they're going to come back in either the season finale or season 2, really. I feel like we're not just going to have the Empire after him or random bounty hunters next season. I think we'll have the Empire after him a little bit, but more importantly, we'll have these guys next season to go after the Mandalorian. I feel like these guys are going to be wanting revenge on him, and because he left them alive, they're going to be going after him. So they're setting something up for season 2, I feel like. I feel like that's what these characters were supposed to be about. Setting up something to do with season 2. And I actually am fine with that. I really liked these characters. I wished I figured out their names. I mean, I know I heard them. I just couldn't figure out. It didn't stick with me. None of their names stuck with me, except the Harley Quinn character, because I'm going to keep calling her Harley Quinn. I don't care what her real name is. The Harley Quinn Twi'lek is interesting. Without further ado, though, yeah, I felt like this episode was a little bit long. However, I still loved it. I think number 3 is definitely my favorite. I think this is, between the 6 episodes that we have seen, this is probably number 4 for me. Maybe number 5. Maybe number 4. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. This is my 4th favorite episode along the list of episodes that I've seen. Good episode, a little bit long, but it was a fun ride. Let me know what your thoughts are about The Mandalorian Episode 6 down in the comments below. And for now, ho ho ho, Merry Christmas, and I'm out.